What's good, YouTube? Boyer Senpai here, coming with you with Random Ant, aka El Capitan's undefeated Kozmo deck profile from Locals today. Ant, Kozmo. Why Kozmo?
I love Star Wars. Wizard of Oz is pretty dope. Hey, why just throw the two together? It's a favorite deck of mine at the moment, and I'm sticking with it. I'm not converting to the Pepe.
No Pepe? No pendulums?
I keep building it, and I get sick to my stomach, so I come back to this.
I feel you.
So we're going to start it off today
and this
with
beautiful Kozmo, what is this, playmat over here?
Yes, shout out to Core TCG Player. They did an awesome job with this playmat. It was on sale for like $25 on Black Friday, and I couldn't resist. It is gorgeous. And people think I'm not playing Kozmos if I have the mat out, which is weird because I play Kozmos.
Hey, the mind games are real.
They are sometimes. They are. And this deck is really about disruption. So we're going to start it off with the Eclipser. I have one of with this guy. He's great when you have the synergy with tin cans dumping into the grave. He's really good with your opponent negating any of your stuff and not letting you go off with the ship's effects to special summon when they're banished. If they're loading up your grave, you have this, and you can get anything back. Same thing with Sword Trooper 2, which we'll go into in a little bit. But I'm running 3 of the Dark Destroyers right here. Best card out of the ships by far. He's really good if you leave a pilot on board and just kind of go big on your opponent's turn if they make you go first. And then if you have a face down Kozmojo, which happened almost every time with me, you can really disrupt their plays. I'm going to keep saying it, but disruption is one of the best things in this deck. It really helps, especially in the Pepe format, because everything is very, very linear. Everything combos, everything searches in that. So if you can throw them off their game and really get them to misplay, misplays give games, and that's what you really have to do with this deck. It takes a lot of skill. It was very linear at first, but now you have to outskill your opponent, and that's what I really, really like about it. I don't like decks that you just have an infinite amount of resources. I like decks that really make you think about your plays ahead and what can happen if something, affects your board.
Every play counts, right?
Every play counts. We are running 2 of the Forerunners.
Now, why 2 Forerunner?
I like to gain 1,000 life points. I don't like bricking. I use 2 of them because I can make Big Eye if I need to, which I actually won a game with Big Eye. Took someone's Ignister, popped their own Pendulum Scale, and then shuffled their other one into the deck. That really made them upset, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to win. I don't like it at 1. I like having the access to Big Eye. I also like having the scale down from Dark Destroyer. So if you're running 3 Dark Destroyers, you definitely need at least 2 of these.
2 Forerunner.
The Lone Dogfighter.
Amazing in the mirror match.
Fantastic in the mirror match. It's got a big booty at 2,400 defense. And since I'm not running the extra Forerunner, this is great for that little substitute. And if they have something that doesn't let me special summon, like Iron Wall or something like that, I can tribute summon this, so it kind of gets around that. I prefer to tribute summon this, my 2 Slip Rider, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Slip Rider is fantastic in this deck. He pops any spell trap card on the board. Pendulums are a spell, so you can pop their Pendulum Scale. You can even pop your own Kozmo Town and get a search, which actually led me to an OTK victory against Pepe. I dropped Max C on him in game 1. Well, first turn, kind of stopped him to a halt. My Slip Rider was able to get a Dark Destroyer off of the pop from Kozmo Town, and I just went ham after that. Now, on to the level 4s. I have Wicked Witch. Just one.
Why only one Wicked Witch?
Now, we have Sword Trooper in this deck. We have Dark Eclipser. And we have Kozmo Town. So no matter where your Wicked Witch is going, you can get it back. You don't want to draw into too many of them. I don't really go into rank 4 access as much either. But if I need to, I run the 1 Good Witch as well. So I can always do that. But Wicked Witch is fine at 1. I feel like anything more than that, too much.
So how many Good Witch are you playing?
The 1 Good Witch.
1 Good Witch.
Now, I like Good Witch because it has the face down ability.
Book of Moon effect?
Book of Moon effect. So if you need to bait something out, you can always, let's say, bait out the Raigeki against an Infinity or something like that. Put down your Good Witch, flip it face down, and that's really it. You take care of that. I like Disruption in this deck, and that definitely helps a lot. So any Exceeds or anything that has like an onboard effect while it's up, she definitely helps out a lot. Then we're going to go into the 1, 2, 3 Kozmo wifey. She is fantastic. Everybody
Self-explanatory.
knows,
This card's
loves.
amazing. Why?
So
So I
good.
see some profiles. I see people cutting this to 2.
Because they're dumb.
They're
No, honestly, you need 3. It's fantastic with the E-Tele target. It's fantastic just to go into battle phase. There's just so many reasons why you'd want 3 of these, especially because you want to draw it as often as possible. And let's be honest, when someone's playing Cosmos, they're going to try and hit your farm girl as often as possible.
Absolutely.
So if you're only running 2, that's a higher chance for them striking both of them. And then if they're in grave and you don't have Eclipse or any means to that, you're probably going to scoop. So keep it at 3. It's best at 3. Next we go into Sword Trooper. If I have any of my Psychic Cosmos and grave, I just pay that 1,000, get them back, and then hopefully go for an OTK with 2 ships in hand. But he's great when it happens to be exactly what I said. Your opponent just stops your farm girl or any of your other Psychics from going off and they're in grave. And if you don't have your Eclipser on the field and they're not activating any traps for you to negate, then they're not getting banished. So he brings them back, which is great. He also has great synergy with this guy.
Strawman.
Strawman is fantastic. Now, you only want to run one of them because you have so many ways to get them. And if you get, too many of those in hand, it gets cloggy. But you get back a Dark Destroyer or, any of those ships that can either float or even Eclipser if you need be to get something back to hand. And it's so plus because they just get destroyed at end phase. You have their activating effects, and you can just kind of go off. It also lets you push for that OTK. So if you summon Sword Trooper, summon this from grave, and then just go crazy.
Bring back anything that's banished. Any
There's
ships.
so much synergy in this deck. People were saying Cosmos is going to be dead once Pepe comes out, but I've killed Pepe today. 2 tin cans. He's an E-Tele target. He was a 1-for-1 target, which I was running in this deck. I ended up taking it out. I just felt there wasn't enough synergy with it. But it's so good. If you go first turn, you can be confident now. Cosmos going first turn, we really didn't have too much confidence. You had to either run artifacts or some other kind of build to be confident in that beginning. This, we don't have to. We tin can, we pick our 3 targets, we get one of them, and then we can go into a ship on their turn, which then helps with that disruption.
Yeah, whether it be Slip Rider to pop the monkey board or Destroyer to pop Ignister. Every play counts.
Every play counts, and he's fantastic in this. Now on to hand traps. So we have Ghost Ogre. Everybody either knows, loves, and hates this card. I think it's fantastic. There's so many outs right now with this. It's so good. You have your Pendulum Magicians. When they destroy to get that other search, you just destroy them first before they can. If you have a Cosmo Mirror match and they're activating any of those ships, you can destroy it with this, and then they're forced to scale down. So if you have that same ship out, it works fantastic.
Thoughts of bumping it to 2?
I like it at 1 right now. I might test it at 2. I definitely will be putting another one in the side. Hand traps are all the craze this format, and for good reason. This actually helped me against Infinity as well tonight. Someone tried putting Infinity. They activated the negate effect on my Veiler, and then I just used that right after. So it was kind of just, bam! They were upset about that, but it happens. I am running 2 Veiler. Ignister's a card, and that kind of stops it dead in its tracks, especially if you have a big booty out like a Dark Destroyer or Dark Eclipser. So it forces them to, crash into something or play around, go maybe into Infinity, something like that.
Let's get your opinion on something. What's better, hand trap, Veiler or Ghost Ogre? Or does it depend on the situation?
Now, overall, Ghost Ogre is definitely the better hand trap. You can stop Pendulum Scales, you can stop face-up spell and traps, and you can stop monster effects. Well, not stop, but destroy. So that's great. Veiler is your opponent's main phase, and it just negates the effect. It doesn't destroy them. I prefer Ghost Ogre because you can use it anytime. You can even special summon it off of, let's say, Soul Charge or anything like that, if you have some crazy tech, and then use its effect like that. So it's really good with that. It also allows you to go into the bigger synchros a lot easier because you can just, Norden, and then bam, you got like a Black Rose or something.
Yeah.
To end off the hand traps, we have 2 Maxis. Some people play 3. I kind of like 2 right now. I might throw in a 3rd. But I was able to consistently get this out pretty fast against people. And whenever you drop this against I don't want to say an unskilled Pepe player, but a hesitant Pepe player, they'll usually stop dead in their tracks. It gave me 2 games that way. People were kind of upset because they realized afterwards they should have just went crazy and went for like Afflasia and Infinity. But in that moment, when you're thinking about your plays, a lot of people just didn't do that. And like I said, misplays give games, and that kind of helped me a lot.
Best hand trap in the format?
This and Ghost Ogre, I think, are kind of just tied right there.
Okay.
This is seeing more play and at more levels because it's getting you more draws. So it's definitely good, but all the opponent has to do is stop special summoning, which can help you because you can leave an open board for you, or they can just choose to do something different and special summon during your turn with traps or anything like that. So this is the monsters for the main deck. We're going to go on to the spells. I was running one Allure. I'm taking this out, actually. I am running a 41 card build. I know 41 cards, but I'm running a Terraforming and 3 Kozmo Towns, so I might as well. I'm running 2 Instant Fusions. This has so much synergy with Panzer Dragon and Norden. Since we have Slip Rider, and it's so easy to go into Slip Rider basically whenever you want to, you have access for Infinity. You go Panzer Dragon, Slip Rider, Nova, Infinity, or just 2 Slips and Infinity.
Did you just say Panzer Dragon into Infinity?
Yes, Panzer Dragon, Cyber Nova, and then you go into Infinity overlay on top of that.
The plays are real, people. The
Yes,
plays
they are.
are real.
We have the 3 E-Tellies. Half the deck is like searchable.
A
with
target,
this
yeah,
one
the
card,
self-explanatory.
so you know it. It's great. 2 Twin Twisters. I love ditching one of my Psychics with this because I can just go Sword Trooper and get the Psychic back. It's so good against clearing boards, both back row and pendulum scales. This was definitely very clutch for me tonight. It let me go off without a worry. I'm running 1 of each with another Dark Hole might go into the side, but right now these 2 are great. It lets me clear the board, go for the OTK. This lets me get my ship effects, so if I have like a Dark Destroyer or Forerunner, this gets that Slip Rider out easier, so if I need to go in Infinity, it's always an option. 3 Kozmo Towns and a Terraforming, all supers, because I'm a little rarity holder. I find that this is a better ratio than just the 3 Kozmo Towns, because if you don't draw into this, it's really, really hard to kind of just go off and really get your resources back. You're basically top decking, and no one wants to just top deck, because that's very risky and luck oriented. Now, since I was running a 41 card deck, the Terraforming really kind of helps because it's a better ratio than 40 and 3 than 41 and 4.
Better chance of drawing it.
Better chance of drawing it.
Get into Kozmo Town.
That is the spells. We go into...
Let's see this heavy trap lineup.
So heavy right now. We got the 1 strike, which will probably be 2 once I get the second. And 3 Kozmojos. People are...
Only 4 traps.
Underwhelming on the Kozmojo. This thing is fantastic. I love going first because I'll just tin can, summon a ship on your turn, and then Kozmojo it. And then disrupt your plays right there. People are getting very, very salty with this tonight. Pick up your Kozmojos if you're running Cosmos. You definitely want to have 3. It's so good for disruption plays. Doesn't target.
It doesn't target.
It's our Ignister. It does not target. So this was really, really key tonight. A lot of people felt the wrath of Kozmojo. Boyer here did. We were playing one basically for fun. We were both topping, but, you know, it's real, and it's a thing, and you're going to feel it. On to the extra deck. Dweller. Obvious reasons.
Self-explanatory.
We have Castell. Obvious reasons. Heartland Draco. This guy's
Heartland Draco.
cute as hell, and he hits hard. So if I have Cosmo Town out, he's attacking you directly for 2k. And then I can just do it again next turn. You can't target him for an attack while he's on the field and a spell is on the field, so that's great. Gets people upset, and it makes them want to out this. That's the thing. So they focus more on this than what I have either back row or in my hand, and that helps a lot. We have the Lone Volcasaurus, of course. I only really make this if I need to burn my opponent, so it's more or less mirror matches I'm doing this because, let's be honest, Cosmos, we're paying a lot of life points, or if I'm playing someone who uses a lot of Solemns, they're going to be burning themselves, and then I can kind of bring this out for game. Other than that, it kind of just stays in the extra. Pleiades, I'm all about disruption. Bring something back to hand that can be a threat, and then I'm, you know, kind of able to just go off and get that OTK, or at least put in some damage and set up a good field.
Is Panzer Dragon a light type?
It is. So with Panzer Dragon, I can actually go into this as well. speaking of, let's just go straight into the Panzer Dragon.
Panzer Dragon.
So this is our instant fusion target, as well as my 2 Nordens, which I have. These sexy guys right here. So Panzer Dragon is just great because there's so much synergy with him and Slip Rider. And Slip Rider, a lot of people want to bring out just because you have that ability to pop any card on the field, spell, and trap. And in this Pendulum Heavy format, you want to do that. Now, the main reason I love using this is because I have Nova into Infinity.
That's just crazy.
Kozmo Infinity and beyond. Infinity is great. I honestly bring him out when I have another like OTK in hand or something like that, because opponents get so scared of Infinity that they'll waste their resources for him. I don't really use him to push for game. I use him to just kind of outsmart my opponent and let them kind of get him off the board. And then they're like, oh god, Infinity's gone, but then they don't see the E-Telly and everything else coming. Or even, you know, my Ghost Ogre in hand or something like that. So
they waste too many cards trying to get rid of this.
Too many resources trying to get rid of this, and that's why I run him. It's so much fun when they can do that. Lone Big Eye, like I said earlier, I use Big Eye to snatch an Ignister, pop my opponent's Pendulum Scale, and then shuffle the other one back in the deck. This is so good. It's the only rank 7 I'm running. Into Synchros, I have Omega. It's so good if you can disrupt your opponent. I don't go into him often, but when I do, it usually causes me to win. Scar Right, he's so good.
The burn damage is real.
all of their special summoning on the field, and then they take damage for all of them. It's so good, especially if I use him and Volcasaurus together. And of course, everyone's paying life points with something, whether it be Solemn or something else.
Pop your ships and they float.
Pop my ships and they float. Fairy Dragon. Fantastic. I love gaining life points. Love gaining life points. You get your search off of destruction of the Kozmo Town, and you get a free Kozmo Town with this, plus 1,000 life points to use for any of your Kozmo effects. So every Kozmo deck should be running this. If you're not, start running it now. And the last is Clearwind Synchro. I don't go into him often, but when I do, he usually helps me get a very good board established, get it out to something, or push for game. So he's always an option in there. I just don't use him enough. One other thing, since people are like, I don't like playing Synchros. If you're running 2 of these, and you're running a Ghost Ogre, and if you already used your Ghost Ogre, you can go straight into your rank 7s. So this is a huge play for that. So I don't really worry too much about getting these out, because I have this and Instant Fusion, and all the deck just kind of works together. Whatever I can grab helps the synergy. That's it for the extra. Now on to the side.
Let's see this side deck here.
So the side deck's kind of still working in progress. I do have 2 of the Majesty Fiends. I'm probably going to keep those in. I run 2 Jury Ghettos. Everyone I know who's been playing Cosmos is like, oh, Jury Ghettos, I don't know. But then when I pop my Jury Ghetto during their turn, and I bring my Dark Destroyer up to 4,000, and we don't crash, I just kill your Dark Destroyer, everybody's been getting on the Jury Ghetto bandwagon now. So he's definitely great at 2. I feel I like him in the side more. If there's OTK heavy decks, I put him in. If I'm playing in the mirror, I definitely put him in. But other than that, he's in the side.
Oh yeah, stop OTKs.
2 Cyber Dragon Cores. Core's able to special summon himself. This is obviously for the Kozmo matchup, because I also have this in the side. I don't main it because I don't want that extra deck slot being used for something I'm only going to use in a mirror. So, for people who don't know, you summon this, or special summon it with its own effects, and you tribute their Dark Destroyer or whatever ships they have out. I actually like doing it when they have a full board, because bringing this up to 4,000 is so much fun. Onto the spells, we have 3 anti-magic arrows.
Oh, you were going to hype the price of this card right now.
I love this card so much. A lot of people at local levels still play back row, and even a lot of rogue decks. If you end up going to any regionals or any YCSs or stuff like that, of course you're going to have your Pepe, but you're also going to have your rogue decks. And there's nothing worse than losing to a rogue deck in a high-level tournament. This card is so good, especially for us, because once we know that we can go off in our battle phase, we usually have the W.
OTK.
OTK. To go right along with our Majesty's Fiends, we have our 2 Monarch Stormports. Fantastic card to just get him out since he can't be special summoned. You can even use it for your Slip Rider or your Dogfighter, so it's really good in that aspect. Really nothing else to say about that. I have a Solemn Warning in the side.
Why in the side deck?
I'm already paying so many damn life points, and I don't like having crazy amount of traps, because the more traps I really have in my main, I end up bricking. I don't like bricking. It always happens to me. I have the worst luck with that. So I found 4 is my perfect number. Might kick it up to 5. And then we have the 2 Royal Decrees.
Heavy back row decks.
Yeah, heavy back row decks. That definitely helps out a lot. I mean, honestly, I'll still run at least 1 to 2 Kozmojos when I have this, because your opponent is usually going to have an out to this card. This is usually going to last for 1 to 2 turns against a very skilled player. And sometimes it's all you need. But once this is gone, you still need something else that's going to protect you. And I find Kozmojos or Solemn, or even just my Twin Twisters or something like that, is really, really helpful. So that is the full side. Have a fantastic time playing with this deck. It's honestly one of my favorites, up there with Necros and old school spellcaster Chaos with Injection Fairy Lily and what was it, Cybernetic Magician. Back in the day, bringing it back. But this is the build right now. If you guys have any comments, you have any recommendations, feel free to throw it out there. I'm going to continue to make more deck profiles. We're going to throw them on our channel, Team Knockout, and on my personal channel for Random Ant. This is Random Ant signing off here.
With his undefeated Kozmo deck profile.
Undefeated right now. But hey, we're always going to get an L sometime. Alright guys, till next time.